We are going to be jumping into Knull number 5, the end of this limited series from Al Ewing, preparing us for the Queen in Black crossover event that is coming this summer. Real simply put, this book was a fantastic fight setup issue. It's the last kind of prologue. We're getting this last lead up to the main summer event, and it features the rematch between Knull and Thanos. Thanos showed up at the end of issue 4, and he is ready to get his pound of flesh on Knull, but Knull's working on a different level now. He is no longer, he is the god of the void, but the void is no longer blackness and darkness. It is light, and it is shining, and a void is a void, is something we learn in this issue. But we got a fantastic issue from Al Ewing on the lead up to Queen in Black. So, Eric, first impressions of the culmination, the final issue of Knull number 5. What were your thoughts?
Oh my gosh, the hits just keep coming. It's more of what we've been loving about this. Crazy, fantastic art, just the right amount of gore.
Yeah.
Like really interesting power scaling. And it makes you think too, because like you were saying, what is a void? You could have an all black void or an all white void. And so it sounds like Knull has really turned a corner with his character development in an interesting way that makes it exciting. It's like, this feels consequential. It feels like there's substance here. So it's really fun.
Right. We're learning a lot of the pathos that Knull is bringing into Queen in Black.
Yeah.
And what he's willing to use, what he's willing to do. Will, what have you thought about the Knull series? I don't know if we've gotten have we heard a ton of like your thoughts on the series yet on the channel?
It was a nice surprise. Like I'm not the biggest Venom fan. I admire that villain. I know it's history in Marvel. I know the lore, how it's grown, and Al Ewing's specific work on it has grown that lore, kind of mythological lore when it comes to it. And Knull's like a cool, relatively new villain in the Marvel universe. Kind of leveled up God. But this series was a nice surprise. I was like, man, didn't know that this was going to be added to my pull list. But as we started talking about it, and now Ewan doing his thing, the art and the coloring and everything is just absolutely fantastic. And I love it. It is like a like Mortal Kombat fight, right? It's like a Mortal Kombat video game. Yes, right. And the sound effects in this book, come on, schlip and skunk, and I mean, like it is just filled with the best sound effects in a comic. And so, yeah, it was just a lot of fun. And I love that, as you said, this prologue leading up to Queen of Black, but you have to level up Knull somehow. So how are you going to do that? Not just one fight against Thanos, but two. And yeah, if you're going to level them up, that's how you do it.
Yeah, I love the allusion to Mortal Kombat in theaters now, everybody. I've loved the thing, just jumping off of what Will said there, the thing I've loved about this series the most is Juan and Ramirez. Discovering another artist that I just could not love his style more.
Yep.
His style is so it's like Assad Ribic did an rated R Mortal Kombat comic. It's got that cool painted look to it, but it's so brutal. It's so nasty.
Do you think that Al and him are brewing up a relationship that could be on a Thor book later on? If you're going to reboot Thor and have them work together on Thor, that
I would be down for that.
I'd be down for that.
Hey, Will Moss, calm down.
No.
Honestly, Will, I just can't wait to see what he does after this. Like, what other book are you going to put him on that is so visceral and nasty? Like, I just think that if they did like to answer your actual question, if they did like a reboot of like Tomb of Dracula, or like a reboot of, like a Man Thing or Werewolf by Night, Juan Ramirez would be great for that really creepy, eerie kind of thing. But what he's brought to Knull has made him even scarier, like actually terrifying and unsettling to look at. I believe it was Eric Faz said this early on in the series, where he almost looks, Juan Ramirez's version of Knull almost looks abstract, where it's very fluid. That's even scarier. I've loved that. Faz, what has been your first impression of this issue? But like, as we're going into the culmination, what did you take into this issue?
Oh man, I loved everything that we got here. I couldn't agree more about the art. It is so peak. Eric's got the exact page I'm looking at right now. It's like I really enjoy kind of the like parallel of Hela getting the full emptiness and reacting by being like, I don't feel good as the queen. Like, I have everything that I wanted and it's not really doing anything for me. Meanwhile, Knull being like, so this is what being full feels like? Oh my God, this is great. It can still be a void if everything is bright and shining and good. That's all good. I can do that. It's a really interesting kind of place to put them both for us then to tie into this Queen in Black.
Agreed. This issue was fantastic. And we're going to give you a brief synopsis and then just pull apart a few of these things. Again, we're leading up to Queen in Black. So a lot of this is very focused forward, but a very worthwhile read. So here's the synopsis, and then we'll pull apart a little bit of the details going into the big crossover. This is written by Al Ewing and Tom Waltz. Art by Juan and Ramirez, colors by Eric Arcanigia, and letters by Clayton Coles. It's another Ryan Stegman cover. Stegman is one of those artists where it just feels like, you know what, he's going to go extra. And when he goes extra, it's going to be extra, extra. And this cover was definitely that, with Knull on the cover with his white, bluish tinted armor that we've already seen a few times show up in cover images for the crossover. Real simply put, this issue is Hela questioning their plan. Tyr is given quite a spotlight in this issue, where the Norse god of war says to Hela, like, why are we doing this plan? What can we be doing differently? He questions Hela as a mode of, I think, accountability for what they're about to go do. And Hela asks him, like, you know, hey, I want your honest opinion, and basically don't bullshit me. And so Tyr is very honest with her, and then we go back to the fight between Knull and Thanos. Thanos thinks that he's, you know, like, I learned my lesson and I got armor now. And Knull deals with Thanos, and I'll get to my favorite part of the issue later on. But they fight, and Knull is able to defeat Thanos again, and he goes back to the planet where Thanos and the Outriders were at the initial part of the story, where we got All Light back, the spear that showed up all the way back in Thor God of Thunder, for you Thor diehards. The Outriders are turned into what was the name of the dragon in the King in Black crossover?
Grendel.
Grendel, yes. They're turned into like mini Grendels with this new light magic.
Light Grendels.
Light Grendel, but lighter. And they head off towards Earth, because if there's one thing Knull hates, it's Eddie Brock and his group of heroes from all the way back in King in Black.
Meddling kids.
Yeah. He is totally a Scooby-Doo villain at the end of this. So Knull is headed to Earth, and Hela and Tyr give up on Daedalus 5, their base, and they're trying to re-strategize. They're not retreating. They're just shifting things around a little bit. A strategic reorganization is happening there. But then we know that the story is going to continue in Queen in Black #1. So, Eric, where would you like to start your main takeaway? Where do we need to drill in first?
Mine is more of just like a general impression, because it is sort of like a smash 'em up. We do get some exposition, some reveal. I do like it's clearly like setting the stage now for the big event. But what I keep coming back to is the art. I keep thinking back to when I first saw previews for this Knull miniseries. The art looks like something I wouldn't like. It looks like something that, oh no, like, am I going to be able to get into this? Quickly went out the door. And now I look forward to this book every month to be like, what am I going to see that I've never seen before? Because it's so unique. It's so original, and stuff can look epic. Stuff can look cool. I don't know how to describe it. It kind of reminds me of like a Ivan Fiorelli mixed with a Nick Klein or something like that. It feels grungy and heavy, but like anime at the same time. It's just so fun. The facial expressions, how they can be so twisted, the sunken in eyes, just fantastic. And so that, along with the sort of like the cosmicness of it, the mythology-ness of it, I think it's just, it makes it one of my favorite books currently. Well, I guess now the mini is over. And so now we'll just go into the event.
Who's the artist for Queen in Black? Who's the...
Iban Coelho.
Okay. Yeah, I also like if you have this, I'm doing all these references, but like a Game of Thrones feel to it too, because you have like the king in light versus the queen in black, and he's got his dragons, she's got her ship, she's got her stuff, and there's a battle going on, and they're gonna say who's gonna be on top. So I'm man, again, like I'm gonna enjoy the ride. I'm curious how they'll land the plane of what this event, the ramifications of it all, but I'll enjoy the ride and the issues that come along.
I mean, at the very least, the hierarchy of power in the Marvel universe is going to shift.
Yeah.
It's going to change fundamentally, as it does with all crossover events in comics. Baz, what was your takeaway from Knull #5 and the series?
I think the most important thing that happened in this series is that Al Ewing let us all know that he's watched Avengers Infinity War with his Thanos reference at the at the end of the
I watched
Thanos
movies,
fight
guys.
here, where they're fighting, and those rocks on Thor people who thought that Al Ewing was harpooning the MCU. Clearly not, given that he had Thanos look at Knull and go, "You should have gone for the head." And then Knull went, "Oh, you know what? Good idea." And then went directly for the head.
Baz, honestly, that was my favorite part of the issue. Like the big splash page of Knull being like, you know what? Great suggestion. Gonna take that under advisement Juan Ramirez like does this very like simple compared to a lot of his panel work inside the issue, but does this very simple like of the all light spear going up through the top of Thanos's mouth, through the top of his head.
Yeah,
Like,
through his
that's-
eye too.
Oh yeah,
That's
you see the reflection in the eye. You see it
Right.
shining through the eye. Let
And-
there be light.
And that actually leads to my favorite panel. That's not even my favorite panel of the issue. My favorite panel is on the next page, where Knull is sitting kind of like a cat who's just eaten a mouse.
He's crouching like Malekith, very like, playful, nefarious.
Yeah, just a very conniving, slimy villain. As Thanos is laying there, Knull has the spear in his hand towards the blunt end, and you just hear Thanos gurgling in the bubble. But Knull says, "A void is a void. What matters? Its source." And I'm just like, that is the operating mindset of Knull going into Queen in Black. And I'm just like, that panel, like it's a small panel. Usually my favorite panels, because I'm obvious and I'm simple, the big splash pages. I love big splash pages, but this one is so good. And I feel like Juan and Ramirez, like if there was original art of this panel, I would want this panel because it's so indicative of the whole limited series. It's what Knull has been doing this whole time, and it's what he's gonna go do in the crossover. But I loved that as well, Faz. That was a great little sequence there at the end of their fight.
And Tyr's mustache is great. That's also a nice little shout out.
That's a very good point.
Billion strong man look. Yes, we broke out the dumbbells for this one. Guys, any other final thoughts on Knull #5? A fantastic wrap up to this prologue limited series.
No, I just love like that one hangar. It looks like a bunch of like Star Wars X-wing fighters getting ready to fly out. Battlestar Galactica. It's got this sci-fi element to it, and then you switch over to Knull, and he's riding like a Godzilla hulked out lightning dragon with light.
Space dragons.
It's absolutely Star Wars versus Game of Thrones, Will. You're
Yeah.
right. We're gonna have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, it's so
It
good.
does look like the Night King on that dragon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic. Eric, Faz, any other final thoughts about Knull #5?
They made it all make sense. If you would have just saw Knull wearing all white, you'd be like, no, he's usually associated with blackness. Like, why would he be wearing white? But it makes sense and it tracks and it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, excited.
Big
Light
selling
versus
point
dark
value
coming up.
comics. At the end, they make sense.
And huge respect to Al for finding a way to make 5 issues out of this, because this could have easily
Right.
been a 1 issue little series to lead into it. That's just he went and grabbed the spear and he had a fight with Thanos and it was a good time. Instead, it's like you get a whole thing and it's like, sure, the actual important plot points are not that many, but the amount of depth and detail and extra stuff we got out of it made it extremely worth the ride over the course of those 5 issues.
I totally agree. I can't believe I didn't put that together. I totally agree with you. The things we're taking out of it, the takeaways, it's like 2 or 3 main takeaways, but the depth of the takeaway is the most important aspect of it. I mean, we said this on an earlier review of one of the previous issues that these books were gnarly as hell, badass, bloody, gross, and I think we're gonna get a lot of that in the main series. Some of the other side, like Defenders of Light and Dark, like there's gonna be some nasty stuff because like Knull is not a nice character. Hela is not a nice character, and there's a lot of
I think
this-
she's nice.
So are the heroes going to like pick sides, or are they and villains going to hit side the heroes of Earth, the mighty Avengers on Earth? Like, are they picking sides, or are they caught in the middle between this war between the two? They're
I
going
think it's
after.
one of those. Well, the impression that I've gotten from like the solicits and the things that are coming up is it's like an Alien versus Predator kind of setup where it's like no matter who wins, we lose.
Mhm.
So we've got to like try to stop both of them kind of thing. And we know like from the solicits of Defenders of Light and Dark, there's teams going off to deal with different things. So a little bit of that whole like we got to try and stop both of them.
Like it. I like it. I'll be there.
So everybody, thank you for checking out this review of Knull number 5. We've enjoyed this limited series so much, and we hope you have too. We hope you're excited for Queen in Black. Guys, this crossover is going to be nuts. We've talked about this on the preview of Queen in Black. Didn't think we'd be getting a Thor adjacent event as the crossover for the summer, but we're getting it, and a lot of our favorite characters are showing up, like Hela, Beta Ray Bill. Tyr is going to be in this. A lot of little Asgardian nuggets are going to be.
Thor 2, but like in the past.
Yeah, Thor 2 Electric Boogaloo. And we're going to enjoy this. We're going to enjoy this ride. Al Ewing is going to, oh my.
I can pop and lock it.
Oh my. I feel strangely warmed by that.
Yeah, cool.
So that was fantastic. There we go. So everybody, thank you so much for checking this out.